and a very warm welcome to Bharata First. You're watching UPSC Corner with me, frankrausanpereira. Since you're here, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share the video as well so that more people can get to know about us. You can also subscribe to our newsletter to get some incisive information. If you like our content, please contribute to keep it alive. A small contribution that you make will be a giant leap for us to keep bringing you this content. Let me also inform you about Bharata First Knowledge Center, your one-stop destination for all your competitive exams needs. I will be starting live big picture current affairs classes very soon, so don't miss the chance to interact with me. Go to kc.bharatafirst.com and register right now. Hundreds are reaping the benefits of the Knowledge Center. Don't be left behind. All this information along with some must-see recommendations are in the description of the video. Please go through it. Now, the UPSC CSC 2020 results were declared a few weeks ago, and around 700 aspirants took one step closer to achieving their dream. Cracking one of the toughest exams in the world is no easy task, but topping that exam is something else. It takes a lot of time, energy, effort, and of course, a lot of dedication. One young gentleman from Bihar has worked tirelessly and secured the first rank in UPSC CSC 2020. And it is now time to meet this young gentleman from Katihar. It is a pleasure to welcome Shubham Kumar, who has secured the All India Rank 1 in the UPSC CSC 2020. Shubham, welcome and congratulations for this incredible feat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I'm a very big fan of you, sir.
That's so kind of you to say that right in the beginning. And I really don't know what to say to that, but let's progress with the talk that we are having now. Shubham, let's start from the beginning. What made you think of a career in the Indian civil services? What was it that, clicked in your mind and you said that this is what I want to pursue?
So it was a gradual process. There were many incidences that I have seen in my village during my childhood that actually motivated me. And then when I joined IIT Bombay in 2014, then I explored many areas, and I saw civil services as one of the career options. And when I did different internship in different areas, I found that I did not found that very appealing and did not suit my my interest. And then I spoke with many seniors and who were into preparation, who are into services. And actually, when I did my internship in US in 2017, and when I compared the level of development between United States and India, and I saw the opportunity that through this service, I will be able to work for the people. I will be able to create that positive change in the society. And through that motivation, I started my preparation.
Who would you say was that one, guiding light or that one inspiration that helped you along the way in this journey?
So there were many guiding lights, and my family, especially my father, he used to guide me a lot in the preparation, and also from childhood, he used to inspire me. He never told me which career option to choose, but he always wanted me to take that option to go for civil services if I'm feeling that kind of interest. And the trigger point was mainly in the third year when I did my internship in the United States. And because I was at the leadership roles in my hostel in my college days, so there I realized that whenever I'm working for others, whenever I'm working for people, that is giving me a lot of satisfaction. So that helped me to decide clearly that I want to make a career in civil services.
And now that you've made it, now that you've secured All India Rank 1, what is the feeling like? And what was the reaction like at home as well as within you itself when you know that you had cleared with the top rank?
It was very emotional at first, and I could not believe it because nobody, no serious aspirant actually can ever think of getting rank 1. And we only aspire to be into IAS, whatever service we dream for. So when I saw the PDF, so I cannot believe it. I saw it again. And then I called my father, and I was not able to clearly even say that I have secured All India Rank 1. because I started crying. Then my father also started crying. So it was a very one of the very important moment of my life. And whenever I am feeling about that moment, when I'm thinking about that moment, then also I'm getting emotional. So it was a very different kind of emotions that I went through when I saw the result.
And there's nothing wrong in getting emotional, because emotions are part of us and we have to wear our emotions on our sleeves and show our emotions as well. It is very important. That makes us better human beings and better people. You cleared the UPSC CSE in 2019 as well, Shubham, if I'm not mistaken. So what was different between 2019 and 2020?
In two areas I improved. In 2019, I was not having that much time to devote for my optional subject because I started my preparation in January 2018. And because of many reasons, I was not able to focus much in the later part of 2018. So I was not able to cover the optional part very thoroughly. So in 2020, my main focus was to cover optional thoroughly, because optional can play a very big role in the overall success of any candidate. And apart from that, I improved my interview marks as well.
So what was your optional subject and how did you go about, addressing that option? Because I understand that you're a civil engineer by profession in terms of, your educational background. So was that
Yes,
your
sir.
optional as well?
No, sir. Actually, my optional was anthropology. In 2018, I gave my first attempt, and because I was graduating that year only, so I was not, knowing about other options. So I chose civil engineering in 2018, but I was not able to clear prelims that year. So then I decided to choose optional which suits my interest and which is according to my strength. So I chose anthropology, and comparing to last year, I covered all the small topics that is there in anthropology. I did not leave any topic, and I tried to cover the topics from anthropological point of view. So I included thinkers, I included any theories, any examples, any case studies, any current relevance. All these I covered thoroughly, and I practiced a lot also. So this actually got reflected in the final exam also.
Important, and this is something that I want to stress upon. You spoke about case studies, you spoke about examples, you spoke about how you brought in your own element into the picture, and that is very important, isn't it? Because right now what's happening is we have so many different coaching institutes, we have so many different mentors, so many different people talking to you and addressing a particular issue from their perspective, so everybody gets the same kind of information. So it's important to give something different and something new as well, because even the UPSC is trying to, change or make the playing field equal. And that's when it is important to bring in a bit of yourself too, isn't it?
Yes, sir, very important. And in fact, it was so crucial for my preparation that I kept a note in front of my table that UPSC will reward innovation and unique thinking. That I wrote in a piece of paper and I stuck it in front of my table, because I know that because everybody is going through the same resources. And if I'm writing it in a different way, if I'm writing it in a more organic and more analytical way, then UPSC will recognize those talent or those things. So in anthropology also, so if question used to come directly from the syllabus, so for example, question came on a settlement pattern. So generally there is only 3 settlement pattern that is discussed in the book, but with the help of my observation, I write that as a student of anthropology, I also observe 2 other kinds of settlement pattern in my in my village and near district. So that way I try to bring my own understanding of subject in the final examination. And that I try to bring it in GS papers as well, because I believe that I always wanted to make my answers different from others, and it should be more, increase, it should increase the value, it should increase the knowledge of the examinationer as well. So I try to do these things.
Absolutely. It's important to give the examiner or the invigilator an experience, because at the end of the day, the person is an examiner or an invigilator because of a reason. He's supposed to be the best in that particular stream. So you can never know more than that person. But if you can give the person in front of you an experience, then it becomes totally different. So, you spoke about your personality test, Shubham. Now, this is something that I want to talk about as well. You said that there was considerable improvement between 2019 and 2020. So what was the improvement like, and how did your personality test go?
So actually in 2019, because I did not appear for any interviews in my college days, I was not very confident. And in 2019 I was a little bit nervous. So in 2020 attempt I tried to build my confidence through various means. I used to interact with lot of people in my academy when I joined Indian Defence Account Service. So I tried to build my confidence, and I developed this understanding that if I am not knowing any question, then it is not any bad thing. So I used to say that I don't know about this thing or something. So with confidence, I think I was able to increase 30 marks in my interview. And I did not went for too many mock interviews in 2020 attempt. And I think that also helped because I used to do one-to-one interaction with my friend, and it used to give me a lot of better understanding about myself, because I believe that interview is also about knowing yourself, because many questions they ask from these areas, and in those questions it is very important that it should come from within and it should show your conviction. So I try to work upon these areas.
That's an important aspect that you brought up as well. Let me try and address that too. Mock interviews are good up to a certain extent, but sometimes what happens is there are individuals who take about 10 to 12 mock interviews, so they would have met around 60 different people giving you so much of feedback. So ultimately your head becomes muddled, and there's just, you don't know what to take in and what to let go, isn't it? Just too much feedback.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it actually changes you a lot, because you are confused which advice to follow, which to not. So I believe that it's in personality test, you should first work upon yourself, your background. You should have a decent knowledge on your background, whatever background you are coming from. Apart from that, you can give 2-3 mocks just to get into that simulation, get that feel of interview, so that you are not that nervous in the final interview.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You spoke about GS, so let's talk about that as well. And what was your preparation strategy like? How did you go about preparing for, general studies and all those other important aspects of the UPSC examination?
For general studies, whatever we study for prelims, that is very important for mains as well. So I did not distinguish too much for the prelims and mains syllabus, mains sources. So whatever I studied in prelims, I revised that. And one thing I knew from start, that I will not be able to cover 100% of the syllabus. So I focused on limiting my resources and trying to revise whatever I studied many times. So I went through the syllabus of UPSC, and I saw the previous year questions. I actually solved the previous year questions from 2013 till 2019, each and every question. So it gave me the feeling that UPSC is asking questions from which all areas. And by looking at the syllabus, I covered all those areas. So there are many resources which aspirant can go through. I did not rely on any one book or any particular books for each subject. I relied on Google. I relied on online sources. So I used to Google the topics, and then I used to make my own notes, and whatever notes that I had for prelims, I used to revise those notes. Apart from all these things, I think general studies also requires answer writing, because we have to write 50 pages answers in 3 hours. So until and unless one is thorough with the basics and have practiced a lot, one will not be able to finish the paper in time. So I wrote a lot of tests in 2019, and then again in 2020, I used to write daily. I used to write 5-6 questions, and then in 10 days or 15 days, I used to write 3 hours test. So that helped me a lot, and I used to make short notes, because in GS there is a lot of information. So it is important that before the examination, or just 1 week before the examination, I should be able to revise the syllabus. So I used to make short notes, and then I used to use those knowledge in the final examination.
Very interesting. I not just general studies, but general awareness also is very important, isn't it? There are a lot of people who want to clear the UPSC, want to get through the system, but I've seen that they don't really read newspapers. They don't really watch meaningful discussions. I would agree to some extent that there aren't too many, great discussions around to go by. But whatever there is being done, I think there are many people who forego that. That it's important to read newspapers, and it's important to have better general awareness and follow some of these good discussions, isn't it?
Yes, sir. If you see the question, if you see the pattern of questions that UPSC is asking, then we can easily follow that UPSC is now more asking analytical questions where we need our own understanding. And our own understanding will not develop if we are reading from the secondary sources, if we are reading just from the coaching materials or monthly magazines. It is very important to follow current affairs from newspapers, from TV debates, from All India Radio. So I had three main important sources. I used to read newspaper, and then the Hindu and Indian Express. I used to read similar articles, like different articles on the same topic, just to get the different viewpoints. And then I used to build my own view on those areas. Then I used to watch Rajya Sabha TV. Big picture that used to take, and then I used to listen to All India Radio. So these three things I used to follow, and then sometimes I used to make notes out of these also. And apart from that, after that, I used to follow some monthly compilation for current affairs, just to go through just to revise all those current affairs which has happened in that month. So because of these things, I think I was able to develop that analytical skill, and that is very helpful in the final examination, where I have to attempt 20 questions, and questions are like that. Questions are framed like that you have to approach in a more analytical way, and again you have to write the facts and figures also, but analysis becomes more important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, newspapers, Hindu and Indian Express, why they are so popular amongst UPSC aspirants, I really don't know, and I'm not going to say anything about that because not going to bring in any biases. But as far as other aspects are concerned, I can certainly put in a word about how unfortunately, really unfortunately, that Rajya Sabha TV no longer exists, and that's why I'm still not part of the organization, and that's why I've started Bharata First. But big picture continues here at Bharata First, and those who want to watch it and continue to get the kind of information that we used to get at Rajya Sabha TV can get it here. And All India Radio is a fantastic source to get information. DD as a whole, Prasar Bharati as a whole is an important source, I would feel. And I think that, you should get as much information from all these sources that are available. But yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of credit here for big picture. And I would also try and promote it through Bharata First and say that do watch big picture
Actually,
because it will help.
I want to give this credit because I covered so many topics from just by watching your videos. So I made notes out of that, and I used to revise that also. So still I have 15-20 pages notes from big picture that I made it from 2019 onwards.
So very kind of you, and thank you for accepting it. Very, very nice of you, Shubham. It really makes makes me feel very happy, and it makes me feel like I have achieved something in life, and I've been part of this small achievement, and it makes me feel good and wonderful. Enough about me now. Let's move on. It's your day, and it's your time to shine, because you are the one who has to take this country forward, and you can do it. You have the power to do it, and you have the you definitely, the kind of interaction that I've had with you so far, I know that you're a man with a stable head on his shoulders, and you want to serve this nation. So as far as your priorities are concerned, what is it that is close to your heart, Shubham?
So my experiences in my district, actually it has a lot of impact. So I saw in my childhood that my district has to go through a lot of cycle of flooding every year, and there is no any solution to it. I did not see any comprehensive solution. So coming from civil engineering background, I read about hydraulics. I believe that in long term, I want to solve the flooding problem of North India and including Bihar. And coming to my short and medium term, I would like to work for rural development, for upliftment of people in the rural areas, because I come from those background, and I believe that through this means, through administrative service, a lot can be changed in the life of people. A lot can be changed to bring the people into the mainstream.
Absolutely, absolutely. Such a wonderful thought, and such a wonderful idea, and I hope and I pray that it all comes to life and comes to fruition, and it actually happens, because I can see that you really want to do so much, and I wish you the very best. Moving on now, let's come quickly try and address the strategy as far as prelims are concerned and mains, Shubham, because that is something that everyone wants to know. So first, the prelims. What was your strategy like? How did you go about cracking the prelims?
I think prelims plus mains, it is combination of two things. One is the basic static part, and second thing is current affairs. And UPSC, it asks questions from both the areas. Sometimes it will combine the current and the static part in the mains examination. So I did my I covered the basic syllabus, basic part, basic books that everybody refers. But I did not refer the book. I referred materials from one coaching institute. Then whatever topics that were left, I tried to cover it from different sources. So I made that basic thing, and then I used to revise that thing a lot. And then I covered the current affairs, whatever sources that I've mentioned earlier. Apart from that, I used to give a lot of mock papers, mock tests, because it used to give me, it used to increase my efficiency, like how to attempt paper, how many questions to attempt, and in which areas I am scoring well, in which areas I should leave questions. So that kind of idea, it came from attempting mock papers for prelims. And for mains also, I used to attempt a lot of mock tests. So my idea was clear for prelims and for mains as well, that I will cover these basic things, then I will cover the current affairs, and then I will analyze the previous year question, because many times because of previous year questions, one can get the idea that what kind of questions UPSC is asking. So one can cover from those areas. In fact, the books that aspirant they refer, actually it is made on the basis of previous year questions. So I used to see all the previous year questions, like last 10-15 years. Then I used to depend a lot on Google for prelims and for mains also. For example, if to cover the environment, because environment is a dynamic topic. So I used to Google a lot of things on environment. For example, just I want to give the example that I used to cover it from year-end review of Ministry of Environment from PIB. So that was one thing that I used to refer. Then I used to go to important websites of Government of India and of the world, like CBD, so UNCBD. So this kind of thing I used to do for environment. So for every topic, I used to depend on online sources a lot. And then I used to make notes out of that for mains. So that was my, just overall, I can say the strategy. But for if we go in detail, then it will take a long time. I don't want to go in detail. But my focus was always on limiting the syllabus and practicing a lot, revising a lot, and then giving, and then be confident, because this exam is also of confidence. If one is underconfident in prelims or in mains, then he won't be able to give his or her 100%. So I had that family support, I had that peer group. Because of that, I used to feel confident, and I used to give 100% in my examination.
And so nice of you to accept the fact that how family has played such a big role, how your peers have played such a big role. It's important, and it's when somebody has actually helped in some way or the other, it is always good to accept it, and that's wonderful to see from you. Couple of things that I want to take forward with you. One, of course, is you were talking about how you did all your research online and how you got so much of information online. But right now we live in an era where there is too much of information. So how do you decide what to take and what to leave out? And the second one, of course, is about mains. And there is generally a question, this problem that people have, that they're not able to finish the paper, and there's too little time. These two issues, if you could please address.
So if one analyzes previous year question, then one can easily get idea which topics are important. And if one is thorough with the syllabus, many times I have seen even my friends that they are not very thorough with the syllabus of UPSC. And UPSC is very comprehensive in giving the syllabus. It has given each and every topic on upsc.gov.in. So one should go through those syllabus and previous year question. So based upon those, one can, with some experience, with some reading, with some preparation, one can easily distinguish which all articles are important, which is not important. So like in 2020 attempt, as compared to 2019 attempt, I was heavily relied on online sources. So if I'm not very confident on one topic, just I used to Google those topics and then I used to write UPSC in front of that. So I used to get a lot of articles based on that. And if I want to have some case studies, some examples, then I used to Google those topics, then I used to make case studies and examples out of that. So that was my approach. And coming to second question, I'm sorry, I
Mains.
forgot the second.
Some people can't complete the mains. They say it's too long. How do you put in so much of information in concise form?
Yes, sir. So for that, what I did, I made short notes, just which notes which I will refer one week prior to mains and 1 day prior to mains. So those notes actually help me to to write answer well in the final examination. Apart from that, I used to practice daily answer writing for one month or so between prelims and mains. So that daily answer writing would help has actually helped me to structure my answers well, to write those answers in a structured way, in a time bound manner. So it is important to write medium level answers for all the questions rather than leaving 5 or 6 questions in the final examination. So, but in the final examination, it was not actually what I expected. I was able to cover 17, 18 questions well. 2, 3 questions I wrote one or one and a half page for 10 markers. So this also I want to highlight. Even if you are not able to write the 20 questions well, it is not a problem. Even if you are able to write 18 questions well and you are just covering the initial part of the questions for later 2 questions, then also it is fine and you'll get decent marks in the mix.
Absolutely. And finally, before I let you go, Shubham, any words of advice that you would like to give fellow aspirants who may want to follow in your footsteps?
So I think consistency is a very important role that has played in my entire preparation. So I think there was no any major break in my preparation, and I actually planned a lot for everything, for prelims beat mains. So for every paper, I had a detailed strategy that how I am going to appear for this paper, which sources I will refer. So planning plus consistency, if one is able to work upon these two areas, then I think everybody can be in the finalists.
Planning, consistency, and practice makes perfect. Those are the three things that I want to take away from this interaction that we've had. Shubham Kumar, a pleasure having you here on Bharata First. I wish you the very best, and I know that you will do us all proud and you will do great service to this country and to our nation of Bharata. I wish you the very best and more power to young gentlemen like you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, before I go, let me once again remind you to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and share the video so that more people get to know about us. You can also subscribe to our newsletter to get some insights of information. If you like our content, please contribute to keep it alive. A small contribution will be a giant leap for us to keep bringing you this content. Let me also inform you about the Bharata First Knowledge Center, your one-stop destination for all your competitive exams needs. I will be starting live big picture current affairs classes very shortly, so don't miss the chance to interact with me directly. Go to kc.bharatafirst.com and register right now. Hundreds are reaping the benefits of the Knowledge Center. Don't be left behind. All this information along with some must-see recommendations are in the description of the video. Please go through it. That's it from me. See you again next time.